So, Justin Trudeau. More like Justin Lizo, if you know what I mean. I don't know, that was so bad. I'm not gonna play. I'm gonna stop speaking so much Jigglypuff. That was awful. So, apparently, Justin Trudeau, liberal woke man himself, basically the woke god. He's sort of like that. He has that aura, that entity about him. He's a racist. And he's done acts and forms of racism not once, not twice, but 3 times. Honestly, it's relatively impressive if I'm gonna be honest. I don't expect that from most people, especially political leaders. Yeah, but here we are. We're faced with this situation. Unfortunately, we can't say whether well, we can say that it's wrong. We can't really say much else. Personally, I'm not sure he should be cancelled. That's a bit ridiculous. He is a world leader at the end of the day. But, you know, it's not like Justin Trudeau was 17 or 14 or 10. He wasn't a teenager. He was a man. Apparently, he was almost 30 in one of these images. It's a bit ridiculous, you know? And I'm not going to say whether it's right or wrong off the bat, because I think 99% of the time, blackface is not funny. Actually, I'd actually have to say 100% of the time, as far as I've seen, it's not funny. But I'm sure eventually there will be a comedian one day who will be able to make blackface funny. And it probably won't be you laughing at blackface. It will probably be you laughing at the concept, an idea of blackface. It's a comedy thing. Someone will probably be able to do it eventually. But Trudeau has come out and said that he doesn't know how many times he would have been in blackface. Apparently it's 3, and it could be many, many more. Now, the problem with that, he's saying he can't remember how many times he's potentially done it. I can count the amount of times I've worn blackface, and I mean, it's 0. Like none. I feel like a bit like Mark Baum in The Big Short.
0. 0. There is a 0% chance.
0! 0%. 0. Never done it. Never. I can say that with all confidence. There will not ever be an image of me in blackface, unless it's doctored, of course, in which case anything is possible. But it's something you would probably remember unless you were doing it every weekend. You know? Unless you were doing it so often that you really couldn't remember how many times you've worn it, you'd be able to pick out the amount of times you've done it. I mean, I haven't been to a ton of fancy dress parties in my life, but I know how many I've been to. And at none of them I did this thing. You know, I'm brown, so I guess I wouldn't need to. But the problem I had with it is one of the times he was wearing blackface, he was being Aladdin. And he was like 30 years old. It's not like he was a kid again, I'm saying that. He wasn't a kid. He was an adult. He was 30. He was being Aladdin. And he caked himself up so much. It was ridiculous. He was so shiny black. His skin tone is not that far off what Aladdin's actually is. They could have just got a tan and he would have looked like Aladdin. So to me, that one's probably even more racist than the actual, the ones where he's being African. Because it's just overtly stupid. As the other ones are, he's trying to look like he's being black. This one, he's being an Arabic, Middle Eastern, Indian character. And he's fully dark. It's a bit weird. It's a bit racist. Now, like I said, I don't think the man should be cancelled. I don't agree with that in general. What I do think is that everyone should have the same scrutiny applied to them as everyone else. And I think Justin Trudeau is getting handled with kiddie gloves by the outside of Canada media. I think that inside there, they're being very, very hard on him, and they're looking into him, and they're looking if he's done this before or later. And people are saying, oh, it's just opportune that they've got elections coming up, which he probably won't win a majority in anyway because of stuff like this. People are saying, oh, I think it's the other parties that have come and done this together. Honestly, it doesn't matter if they've done it or if they haven't done it. It's the fact that he'd done it. You know, you can't just lay the blame on them, maybe, for outing this. It's the fact he did it in the first place. They just put it to light. That's all they've done. It's like a journalist reporting. It doesn't matter the time the piece comes out. It's the fact the piece is true. And the fact is, he did do this. And he is being handled by the mainstream very, very easily, I feel. I watched a thing of Don Lemon, okay? And he was going on about how, oh, Justin Trudeau, he's apologized. He's seen the wrong that he's done. He said this. It's okay. It's okay, Justin. You know, you're part of the establishment, you know. The same guy who said about Megyn Kelly when she had her show cancelled, Blackface is never okay. She should know that. She's our age. She's like late 40s. Trudeau is the same. He's late 40s. He's not a kid. He wasn't a kid when it happened. They were saying that about Megyn Kelly not understanding the concept of blackface. Megyn Kelly didn't wear blackface. She didn't say blackface is good. She didn't say that blackface is great. She said, I mean, you're just wearing a costume. For me, I just see it like you're wearing a costume and you're being someone else. And she got ripped apart by the mainstream and got her show cancelled. This guy is a world leader of one of the probably 10 most important countries in the world. And apparently Don Lemon thinks it's all good. In which case you should go back and retroactively apologise to Megyn Kelly for contributing to her show being cancelled. In my opinion. Now, while I don't love President Trump, and while I don't love Boris Johnson as Prime Minister, I think Boris Johnson was a very good Mayor of London, personally. Way better than Sadiq Khan. I don't think he's the best Prime Minister as of yet. If either of them had this happen to them, just the allegation, not even if there were images, the allegation of blackface against them, they would never be able to wipe this thing clean in the rest of their political career, ever. The allegation. Not even if there was real proof. But this guy is going to get it wiped away. I mean, easier than it would be to wipe the caked makeup off of his face in these images. I mean, I think that there needs to be some standard as to what's okay and what isn't okay. And while I think that blackface generally probably isn't okay, everyone should be applied to that same standard then. And if this was someone who was a centre-right politician, even a centred politician, they would not be getting the same amount of leniency that Justin Trudeau is getting. People are saying, oh, he was young, you know, he's learnt liberal values now. His dad was a liberal and maybe a better prime minister than Justin as well. I guess he's in his dad's shadow and always will be now. Well, he cast a shadow when he was in that blackface, I guess. But yeah, he was brought up in a very liberal household, I would think. So I don't really get the idea that he's come to understand liberal values when he was brought up like that. Doesn't really make sense to me. And I think stuff like this solidifies my view on how racism really works. You know, there are people who are overtly racist and super out there, and it's like you blank, 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 blank. A lot of bad words there. And then there are the people who are the virtue signaling scumbags. And he is indeed one of them. He really is. I think you virtue signal if you know you've done something wrong. And whether you're trying to repent for it or if you haven't repented for it, in your view, in your mindset, and you're saying, I need to do this because I was so bad, or I've done things which I can't tell anyone about, so I think I should be a quote-unquote white savior, which is what people say. People don't like that on both sides, I think, so I suppose I'm pretty safe there. Yeah, the concept of virtue signaling, it really bodes in a negative way for me. It makes me think that you've done something wrong, potentially. And honestly, when someone does say, I've heard this before, I would never say this line in my life. I would never be racist against a Chinese person or a African person in my life. I've never even thought of a line to say like that. And then my response is, I don't trust you. If you're saying you've never thought a racist thought in your life, man, you are chatting absolute shit. Or you're the Dalai Lama. And there's only one of them. And it's not you. So you're lying. And I don't like that. Just be honest. Everyone's had bad thoughts, even if you didn't say them out loud or act on them. I don't know. I think that what Justin Trudeau has done is the most racist thing that can be done in terms of out of the list of things that maybe Boris Johnson's done or President Trump's done or, I don't know, Emmanuel Macron. He seems like he probably wouldn't have done a lot of stuff like that. So that's good, I guess. You know, this is overtly racist, generally. You know, this isn't some light thing where maybe it's a bit racist. It's an action. It's not even words. It's like when Trump says something that might be conceived as racist. It's like, okay, man, he said that racist shit. They're words. He actually did an action that's racist. That's like 10 volume of 10 magnitudes worse. Like, the degree is huge. I don't know. I think that everyone needs to take a step back and decide whether if we cancel him, which I don't want to happen, then we have to cancel everyone. But if we don't cancel him in the same regard, and by we, I'm saying the public, because at the end of the day, it's going to be the public who decide. That's how it works. It's basically public jury, Twitter jury, basically. If he gets away with it, then it shows that you can get away with this. And I'm fine either way, but I just would like to know the rules. That would be really good. So, just to end this, Justin Trudeau is indeed... as he said, I should have known better. Let me just play this video quickly. Let me see if will it play.
In 2001, when I was a teacher out in Vancouver, I attended an end-of-year gala where the theme was Arabian Nights. And I dressed up in an Aladdin costume and put makeup on.
Oh my god.
I shouldn't have done that.
No shit.
Should have known better, but I didn't. And I'm really sorry.
Do you think you should do something like this? Would you have called for men to step down?
I think there are people who've made mistakes in this life, and you make decisions based on what they actually do, what they did, and on a case-by-case basis.
On a case-by-case basis, of course, yeah. I can't even imagine.
Regret that I did that.
Mm-hmm.
I should have known better, but I didn't.
Okay, that's enough of that. That's just too loud now. Right, I can imagine if the other opposition parties, I think there's a further left-wing party and then also a centre-right party in Canada, as far as I've read up on, because I'm trying to learn how world politics works, not just in the UK and America, but across the world. And I can only imagine if it was the Conservative or the further left candidate, if either of them had done something like this, he would be taking shots at them so hard. He would be saying that they shouldn't be able to take the office because of stuff like this. But it's on a case-by-case basis, right? Of course it is. Of course it is. Yeah. I think this man is full of absolute dog shit. Oh, there's another video as well. Wow, he's really had to try and stop
recent
this.
pictures that came out, I had not remembered. And I think the question is,
That's
how
what...
do you not remember that?
Right!
The fact is,
That's my point! How? How
I
can...
understand how hurtful this is to people who live with discrimination every single day. I have always acknowledged that I come from a place of privilege, but I now need to acknowledge that comes with a massive blind spot.
Wow. Wow, you cheeky bastard. Holy shit. Holy shit. This motherfucker is trying to deflect. This guy, I mean, I guess he's a good politician. I wasn't expecting it. He's genuinely trying to deflect this away from him as an individual and trying to say it's about privilege. And I guess white privilege or class privilege. And by saying that, it's almost like he's not actually taking personal responsibility of this. He's sort of saying that, you know, it's a thing which is a big problem in society, and if you have privilege, then you should, you know how to deal with it. But you're not saying that what you did and the concept of the idea of what you did was wrong. By saying that, you're sort of backtracking in a very odd way. It's very subtle. I'm sure most people wouldn't even notice it. But I see the difference there. I really think you're trying to do something which I don't think you're going to get out of, though. I really don't. I really don't. Oh, there's something in here about his, that's good. Approval rating. Well, actually, no. When he got elected, his approval was 60%. I just read the graph wrong. Sorry. Wow, I should be fired. For what? His approval rating was upwards of 60%. And then it started to dip after 2017 quite dramatically. It's the lowest it's been ever now. It's probably 35%. His disapproval is upwards of 60% now. Man, that is not looking good for your election. I really, really hope that this doesn't completely impact the Canadian elections. Because it's about policy. It's not just about one action someone may have done. But if you're the leader and you've done physically racist things, according to most people, then that's going to be affected in the polls and in this disapproval chart. That's really bad. I do think that most people outside of Canada have a generally positive view of Justin Trudeau. I know that's for a lot of the people I know. People just love him. I think, man, you're a bit slimy, personally. I remember there was this thing about China. He sort of had a bit of slimy money there. It doesn't really fit with what you say you do. You know, if the right-wing party did that, I'd be like, well, that's what they say they do. I don't expect anything less. But with you, I don't expect that. So it comes as more of a slap around the face. And I was like, this guy looks like he's actually going to do some good stuff at the beginning of his prime ministership. Not anymore. But I do think that he's probably going to lose the election. I can't see him winning. I genuinely can't see how he can win this election that he's got with a majority. I think it's almost, if he does, man, that's some magical shit. That's some unicorn shit. Actually, I'd like to see what Lily Singh has to say about this. Surely she has to say something on her show. She loves Justin Trudeau. He's basically his bae. He's her bae. You know, wow, that'll be interesting. Let me know if anyone knows if she actually mentioned it at all on her recent shows with all this stuff. Yeah, we live in an odd world with this cancel culture. Personally, I don't think he should be cancelled. And if he doesn't get cancelled, we know where we stand with this stuff. Which is, it doesn't matter, apparently. But if you do get cancelled, then, I mean, it makes sense. Then I see where everyone can line up as to what counts as cancelled and what doesn't count as cancelled. You know, I know people in Canada who like him, and I also know people who don't. But like I said, outside of Canada, the general consensus is people like him a lot. He's a very friendly guy. He seems like that. But inside of Canada, and I've felt this for a while, he isn't really loved. And this disapproval chart honestly shows that pretty perfectly from what I've talked to people about. But that's just my opinion on this matter. A very long video again. I need to stop making long videos. They are annoying. Maybe I'll have to... This is going to be annoying. But it is what it is. I have to voice my opinion. Well, I don't. I don't really have to. But I will. I will. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do like, share, comment, and subscribe to their channel down there. If you didn't, then Justin Trudeau will come after you. Who knows? He might be in a bit of makeup. Yeah. You don't want that. You really don't. So just subscribe anyway to avoid that. And I've been NarendraTheComic. You've been great, and I'll see you next time. Skadoosh.